Hey, folks, it is December the 7th, and we're going over the third part of chapter 25. And so the terms we have on the board today are Veii, Falerii, they're both Etruscan cities, the Gauls, Marcus Manlius, and Camillus. Make sure you read that chapter, and I will post it in the Google Classroom as a reminder, but we're going to have a vocabulary quiz on Thursday, and it's going to be over chapters 21 to 25, and it's going to be about 51 terms. Well, I mean, it is going to be 51 terms. So make sure you start studying those. Huh?
That's a big quiz.
Yeah, but y'all are big kids, so it's okay.
Yeah, but
Big brains.
compared to your other one.
I told you this is going to have a little more, but it's your only assessment before Christmas break, this whole 3-week period. So it's the only one. So we'll make sure that those brains of yours are put to good use. I'm going to put this over here.
What's a bad use for brains?
I'd say most things, but yeah.
Just
Like,
gave up.
There's a lot more potential errors than there are potential right paths. Okay.
Why is this hard to learn about stuff just to get our memorizing skills, like make them better?
Have a seat. You're scaring me.
Like if that was true, me memorizing all freaking good things, I'm getting all 700 skills.
Okay, we're sitting down. Okay, we're moving a chair.
I can literally recite all these things, okay?
Great. All right. So all right. So today's images. So here is a picture of that actual lake. This is a volcanic lake. This is Lake Albano, I think. And so this is right on the outside of that city, Veii. And if you remember, the Romans had heard that the Etruscan soothsayers had said that the city would not fall until the lake was drained. And so the Romans asked the Oracle of Delphi. The Oracle of Delphi was like, well, just get rid of the water. And they're like, okay. So they dug a big tunnel to drain the thing out. And then after they drained it, they found a tunnel that supplied water to the city. So they entered through the city through that tunnel. Yes.
Wait, there's an Oracle of Delphi in Rome?
There is they had to send somebody down there, all the way down to Greece.
Yes.
So sieges took years most often. If you'll recall, this war was with the Etruscans was so long that they started actually paying their troops. So because they couldn't go home and work the fields, and they were tired of the plebeians like rising up. So like, okay, fine, we'll give you money. And go die. All right, so their leader was the Honorable Camillus, and if you remember at Falerii, a tutor who was like the head teacher for all of the guys in charge kids, brought these kids up to Camillus and is like, hey, if you're super nice to me, I'll let you have the city by giving you all like their most important children. And he was like, how dare you do that? And so he was like, look at this honorable thing. Yeah, so he tied his hands and had the kids flog him all the way back to the city. Their fathers were so impressed that they're like, okay, we'll surrender.
Those children look like they're just like, wee.
I can't afford to be like
Now,
that.
let's face it. If you had a teacher you didn't like, and that teacher's like, hey, I'm just going to hand you over to these marauding people, you'd probably be pretty happy if you got a chance to like totally whip his backside afterwards. So,
Nah.
I mean, just consider the situation.
Oh, he totally got beat up.
I have no, who knows, right? Yeah, so it probably was not a good trip back home. He probably had a lot of things going through his head. So, all right, so the Gauls. Yeah, the Gauls are a Germanic people from the Germanic areas, and of course here it's west of France. Of course, they didn't call it France yet. That's going to have to come way later during the time of the Franks, like when we're talking about not Charlemagne, but like Charles Martel and the Merovingians and all that stuff. So we'll get to that next year. So yeah, they're a fierce warrior people. They do barbaric things like wear pants. And so
Oh my
they came
God.
into Italy pouring in for wealth. There are people that don't really have civilization the way we think of it. They didn't really have cities. They had very small farm towns, not much in the way of wealth. And so when they come to Rome and they see like what to them was like a magnificent dream city, they're like, wow, we're going to get some loot out of this. They're going to defeat the Romans in battle. Of course, this is before the Roman legions, the way we think of it. So they probably fought more along the lines of Greek people at this time. You have the one story where they take Rome, and so many of the Roman patricians, who you might have kind of got the idea in your head, they're a little snobbish. We're like, there's no way we're going to submit. Yeah, there's no way we're going to submit to these pants-wearing barbarians. And so they wear their
But that guy
finest
isn't
robes.
wearing pants.
I know, it's a bad
That's
argument.
a bunch of pants.
So there's the story of they all sit down in the Senate in their finest robes, still as statues, totally stoic. And yeah, one barbarian yanks on one of them beard to see if he's alive. And so he gets a good thrashing.
He gets smacked.
And then they all start chopping each other up. And but some of the Roman warriors managed to go up to essentially like the Acropolis, right? And so they're up in the high point of their city. It's walled, and some of the sacred geese of Juno managed to start squawking. And if you might not know this, if you've never been around geese, geese have actually been kept around for thousands of years as not guard dogs, but
Warning
like
signals.
guard geese. Yeah, because they will totally make a ruckus and start pecking at strangers. So they're very good about being an alarm system. They really are. And so
Prehistoric
We still
alarms
use
be
them.
like.
Some people do.
They'll probably be so mad when they start smoking. Like, shut up.
Like a good combination is to have like geese and a really big dog, because the geese will let the big dog know that somebody's there, and then the big dog will.
Well, wouldn't the big dog just want to eat the geese? Maybe.
No, not if you raise them right. If you raise them good geese, you train. But yeah, so here we have these Gauls. They're trying to climb up. Pretty crafty thing. It looks like they may have taken some cheer classes. They made a human pyramid.
2, 4,
And-
6, 8.
Unfortunately for them, Marcus Manlius is going to come up, give them a good shield whacking, and they all tumble down. But they're going to hold it. Eventually, the Gauls are going to leave. They're going to be threatened at their homeland, so they're getting called back. And here you have the story of Brennus, their leader and war chief. He says, "We need so much gold," and they put it on scales. And so he tips the scale in his favor, saying, "I need a bit more gold than that." But at the same time, then riding in the charge to save the day comes in brave Camillus, and he slays them all. And all is well. Well, that's a different picture. So it goes to show the barbarians are portrayed as being sneaky, greedy, pants-wearing individuals with mustaches, which was totally ridiculous to the Romans.
One of the
It's all about the
Romans-
beards.
Yeah,
Shave.
it was the
one
beards
of
are
the
shaved.
Romans is wearing a mustache. It has a mustache.
The thing is, Romans would have a mustache with their beard, but having a straight mustache, they thought it was like,
Weird.
so that wouldn't be right.
Like you only got half
They
a
would
beard.
crack
what's
jokes
wrong?
about that. Kind of like to them, that was just like
Funny.
totally ridiculous. It's like, why are you missing half your face here? What's wrong with you? To them, I don't know. It's like having a reverse mohawk to a Roman. It's like, why would you shave the middle of your head? So a tonsure. All right, kids. So I asked some of you to be my topic experts, and heck, I just talked about the thing.
Yeah, really. You just gave us all the answers.
Well, just because I can't just let you do all the work. All right, so
He's too nice.
me. So what's the deal with this?
So it was an Etruscan city.
Etruscan.
Etruscan city.
Uh-huh.
The Gauls had taken possession of it, and the Romans before the Agrarian law was passed. Like, so then that was going to be like everyone gets paid for war, and they wanted to fight them before the law was passed, so they wouldn't have to pay them.
Yeah, pay them land.
Pay them.
Rome attacked. Yeah, well, Rome declared war. Yeah,
so they wouldn't have to pay taxes. It's just tax evasion, but with extra steps.
It was to distract the plebeians.
Well, yeah, because the plebeians are the ones who are having to do all the fighting.
Yeah. The plebeians, however you say it. All right, so cool. So they do that. They get to the city, and they're having a hard time taking it. So what about some water or something?
The water started rising. They were like, this is a little suspicious. And there were the people who lived in the city were like, to beat us, you have to drain all this water.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we don't believe you. So they went all the way to talk to the oracle, and the oracle was like, yeah, they were right. And they're like, oh.
Why did
Yeah.
they tell him how to beat him though? That's weird.
Well,
Well, it was supposed to be more
they
like
thought
a
it was
threat.
impossible.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't drain a lake. Nobody can do that.
But then they were like, yeah, we can. Like, hell, we've got poor people. They'll do anything we say. So they dig a giant hole, like a tunnel. Then they lead it back to their own city to like water their plants.
Yeah.
So they made a giant trench all the way back to their land, or more of a tunnel or whatever. And so they just made them. There was like the first man-made river. They just made one, and they were like, there's a strange-looking hole in here. And so they all go in, and they're like, oh, it leads to the city. Let's just take it now. And then they took it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So when they drain this lake, they're going to find a tunnel into the city, and then they take the city, and they're like, hooray, we won. And the trustee was like, oh, good job, prophecy guy. So, all right. Very good. Very good. So note to self, avoid prophecies, I guess. All right. So,
They're
Now.
only telling the people how to beat you.
or at least don't share them. Yeah. Keep them to myself. So, hey, girls, what about this one, Philaria?
It was also in a Etruscan city,
Uh-huh.
and because they're enslaved, they will surrender to the Romans.
Uh-huh.
So basically, Blair was in the hands of the Romans, and it just made peace for like 20 years.
I read that one
Wait,
story.
does that say fines? Okay, I thought it said floods.
Oh, yeah.
But spelled horrible.
But- Somebody tried to turn over somebody, right?
Tutors turned over the kids.
Yeah, remember the tutors? What's the deal with the tutors?
Oh, yeah.
that was important a little bit.
So what about it, girls?
I'm not a female.
What did the tutor do? He just taught or something. He did math.
These are my students. These are the sons of these guys. Do you want them? You can win the war.
Actually, it's only the best.
You can win the battle. You can take the city if you just take these
Take the
children off
kids.
my hands.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Tutor offered,
children.
yeah, Rome,
What the good stuff.
the
Perfectly.
children of the city's rulers. Because remember, it's not just about taking a city. We're going over this because there has to be a bit of, it's a moral story, and it's not a moral story always for us to be like, I need to mimic that moral. But it's a moral for us to understand the people we're studying, understand the Romans and their neighbors, the children, the city's leaders.
They were like, we don't need your kids. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was better.
Camillus freed the children.
Save the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, freed the kids. And the city surrendered.
What was the difference between what happened? Like, what was the difference for the city if you surrendered versus being like
Was honorable.
overtaken by war? Like, if you surrendered, could
Okay.
you just be a citizen? But
Well,
if you like fought, would you have to become a slave?
In this case, now they became kind of like a patron state. Like, so they'd have to pay taxes and they would have to follow some of their guidelines and rules like that. But otherwise, they were free. Later on, though, we're going to see the Roman Republic, especially during their wars with Carthage. If you do not side with Rome or immediately turn over with Rome, they kill everybody. We've seen this before. It seems to be like a reoccurring theme with ancients. Kill all the guys and sell all the women and children. So at this time, however, this is like to like a semi-mythic past. And so people are doing great things in remarkable circumstances with prophecies and feats of honor that are viewed within like certain lenses. And so the assumption is that, well, they're like, okay, you turned yourself over because we're so honorable. We'll be honorable to you. Such is the story of him. All right, so Jaden.
Aiden.
Just
How can you like be so super energetic and then you sit down and and you
It's-
just like zombie out? All right,
It's like when you wake
I
up
don't
early, you feel
remember
super
exactly.
energetic, but then later you're just like,
I guess.
Because all night he was allowed to not sleep.
haha.
And so now
Roles
he's
reversed.
realizing that he can't not sleep.
What a shame, what a shame. So guys, the Gauls.
Oh.
So
Wait.
no, yours was Marcus Manlius. Yours was that one. Well, that's okay. So, hey Jaden, go ahead and tell me about the Gauls. Go ahead, tell me. You can help out, Brian.
They invaded Rome.
Yes.
They tried to, but they were pushed back.
All right, so they invaded Rome.
they touched the guy's beard, unforgivable.
But here's the thing. There's more to it than that, right, Brian? So they invaded Rome, and what happened when they invaded Rome?
Everyone left, except for a lot.
So
Everyone left except for a lot of people.
Yeah, let me tell.
I think.
okay, the senators, right, in the Senate.
And then their army went in there, and when they touched the old man's beard, they beat the other guy and they killed him.
Yeah, they destroyed the Senate. What made them decide it was time to leave Rome?
Is
They
there
were
homes?
invading their home,
Yes, and so what did they ask for?
10 pounds of gold.
Money.
10 pounds of gold?
100?
1,000.
1,000.
1,000 pounds of gold. That's so much more than 10. I know that much math. All right, so left Rome when homes threatened.
And Rome took them.
Yeah, well, Rome's going to come back in and be like, you're not leaving with all of our gold. When homes in trouble, they're like,
Honor.
demanded 1,000 pounds of gold.
Darn it.
1, 2, 3. And the thing is, too, they totally leveled the city. Like they knocked down all of their sacred temples, their government buildings, the homes were burnt down. They snatched up all of the things that they could, like their food and their art and all that stuff's all gone. So, I mean, they're being barbaric, right? So, barbarians being barbaric, who would have thought? All right, so good job, guys. Now, what about Marcus Manlius? So he's like a hero. I mean, that made a tragic end, if I remember right.
So, right, he was a really good guy, and they're like, haha,
So what about it?
You.
shank.
He was like a commander that attacked one of the Gauls
Yeah, he heard
with a
the
shield.
he heard the geese, and then he just hit the first one with the shield and dominoes.
Yeah.
Not a piece of the actual domino.
Defended the Roman citadel. And so a citadel is like a fort from the Gauls. Now, so they have the story of the geese, and he hears him, like, they wake him up. He's the first up there, and he's the first to kind of like topple him down. They're like, wow, good job, Marcus. So, but then he's like, my people need help. What does he do later when his people need help?
He helps pay for their taxes, and they kill him.
Yeah,
That taxes debt.
paid the taxes of the poor.
I thought
Now,
it
why
was-
did they kill him?
Because they thought he was trying to get their favor. But he was just being a good person.
Yeah, he was sold all his stuff. He was such a self-sacrificing
U or-
patriot.
Is that a MAU or MAN? On the what?
Oh, MANLIUS.
Just your L and your N and your U is really small.
Sorry, they're just.
Maybe I just have bad eyesight. It's really.
It's like they're almost flipped, really. It's almost like they're upside down. Okay, so, killed for, being like a king. So anything that carried too much favor with the masses was seen as, whoa, 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 you're trying to be a king. And so, yeah, they wouldn't even put you on trial. You were just gone. Well,
Taxes.
let's face it, sometimes it just works that way.
Taxes weird.
All right. Right, so yeah, so we're gonna see this again, where you're gonna have the Roman people are gonna turn against, like if you remember we were watching those videos on the Gracchi. Well, that's exactly what happened to those guys. Like, whoa, 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 they're making the poor people like them. They must want to be a king. So
Or,
Or maybe they're just the.
the poor people like them better than us, we gotta kill them.
yeah, and so see, they're like, yeah, right. So you can come at this with kind of like a realist lens and be like, maybe they're not afraid of kings, maybe they just want to stay in power. So, all right. So, hey, you three, what about Camillus? What's the deal with Camillus? Another Roman hero who like did things.
He was a hero that took over many cities.
Yeah, so Roman leader.
Wait, was he a leader? Was he like a general? Or
Yeah, he's a general.
I thought he was a hero.
But he's going to be given a dictatorship, remember? Defeats the Etruscans. And he's going to be the guy from these two cities up here.
Where he was from.
Now, after he defeats the Etruscans, what happened to him?
He dies.
No. He has to, his enemies forced him to flee the city because they accused him of stealing, looting too much. You got too much of your share of the loot. Pirates are supposed to be more even than that. So,
Because, we want to be rich. And we can fill everything else.
so left Rome due to corruption.
They have to ask him to come back though,
Yes. Why did they ask him to come back?
because they needed his help.
Yeah.
They were dumb to get him out, so not to bring him back in.
But made dictator to defeat who? Yeah, the Gauls. Those pesky Gauls. We're going to see a lot more of those Gauls. They're going to be around for quite a bit until essentially Julius Caesar, as a general, is going to go through, totally smack him down as he makes his way all the way up to England. All right, so that's going to do with our lecture today. And remember, go ahead and start studying those card sets on Quizlet for chapters 21 to 25. And I will repost those on Quizlet for our studying pleasure. And I'll talk to you later. Yes, sir.
I need an invitation to join.
I'll go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Do you want me to take care of